Honestly, the Brooklyn Nets have kind of been going under the radar this year, which is kind of weird to say, especially when you talk about these past couple years. People can make the argument that the Brooklyn Nets were one of the more overrated teams in terms of the roster they had and the lack of success they achieved over these past couple years. But I think they're going under the radar this year because when we talk about the Brooklyn Nets, usually it's in regards to what's going off the court, like with the Kyrie Irving drama or Kevin Durant's trade request and how he talks about his teammates in a negative sense in post-game interviews, or the Steve Nash firing and hiring Jacque Vaughn. That's all we really talk about in terms of the Brooklyn Nets, just the off-the-court stuff. We're not really paying attention to what they're doing on the court because right now, in terms of just basketball, the Brooklyn Nets have been playing really well. They're actually on a pretty hot streak, one of the hotter teams in the league right now. Right now, they're fourth in the East at 17-12. They won 8 out of their last 9 games. They're on a 4-game winning streak, and they're playing really good basketball on both sides of the floor. I mean, when you talk about offense, they're 10th in offensive rating at 113.5. And defensively, they've been picking it up. They're 13th in defensive rating at 111.8, which speaks a lot about the growth of this team because when we talk about when they were 1-5 at the beginning of the year, during that 1-5 stretch, they're ranked last. And just more on the defense, they're first in blocks per game at 7 per game. Nick Claxton took a leap in his game, averaging 2.2 blocks. KD's averaging 1.7 blocks. And the third on the team is Kyrie Irving. He's averaging 1.1 blocks per game, which is leading all point guards. So you see Kyrie Irving is stepping it up on defense. When we talk about just the coaching change, that's kind of where they turned it around. I mean, under Steve Nash in the beginning of the year, they were 2-5. And now with Jacque Vaughn, they've been 15-7. During that 22-game stretch with Jacque Vaughn as their head coach, they had the second best record in the East behind the Celtics, who are currently the best team in the East right now. The Brooklyn Nets have been playing really well. If we talk about their weakness, it's the rebounding. They're at the bottom of the league. They're 28th in rebounding. They need big men. I've talked about this in a video before for Kevin Durant when I was just rambling about the Brooklyn Nets. They need someone down there that will fight in the trenches, battle in the trenches for them. Because when you look at the teams in the East, start with the Celtics, they have Robert Williams, Grant Williams, Al Horford. They play physical. Jason Tatum too as well. Jaylen Brown. These guys that play defense, they're going to try to crash the boards. We talk about the Bucks. What will I say about Giannis that we don't already know? Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis. Then Cleveland, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. These are tough teams that, are going to bang with you. And when we talk about last year's playoffs, that's where they were beat. Brooklyn was just being so physical with them. Kyrie had a tough series. KD had to take tough shots. The Boston Celtics were just too strong for them. But enough of the bad. Let's talk about the good of this team because we need to recognize them for what they've been doing recently. When it comes to shooting, they've been shooting the ball really well. They've been finding their offense a lot in the mid-range. They're third in mid-range field goals, first in mid-range field goal percentage, and three-point percentage too. They're 8th in three-point percentage and 16th in three-point attempts. They've been playing well when it comes to shooting. And let's start at the top with their best player. Love him or hate him, Kevin Durant has been playing like one of the best players in the league right now. He's no doubt a top 10 MVP candidate right now. When we look at his averages, he's averaging 30 points, which is 6th in the league right now. 6.7 rebounds, 5.5 assists on just elite efficiency like KD. KD's always efficient. 55.9% from the field, 35 from 3, and 92 from the free throw line. That totals up to be 66.6 true shooting percentage. In terms of the true shooting rankings, he's 11th, but in that 11-man ranking, Kevin Durant is the only high volume 3-level shot taker amongst those 11. Talk about the field goal percentage. Like I said, very efficient this year. Kevin Durant is the only player shooting greater than 55% from the field, attempting more than 19 shots per game. Shooting at high efficiency, at high volume, MVP candidate Kevin Durant. Just playing some great basketball right now. On both ends too. I mean, when we talk about his defense, by all means, we don't think of him as one of the top premier on-the-ball defenders, but in terms of help defense, he's been playing really well. He's been doing that since he was with the Warriors. And I saw this on Twitter. It was from D-Ball Index. It was a headshot plot. It was comparing self-created shot making with overall shot making. And if you look at Kevin Durant, he's all the way in the top right corner. He's still proven that he honestly might be the best pure isolation bucket getter in the league. Kevin Durant is doing this at 34. He has not lost a step. I mean, if anything, he's getting better, especially that Achilles injury he had with the Warriors. Every year since then, he's been getting better, getting back into MVP form. When we look at Kyrie, like I said, when we talk about Kyrie, most of the time, it's just the off-court drama. But Kyrie on the floor, he's been playing really solid this year, averaging 25 points, 4.8 rebounds, 4.6 assists on okay efficiency. I mean, it's a little bit above league average, 48% from the field, 33 from 3, and 92 from the free throw line. Say what you want about Kyrie off the court. He'll do what he does off the court. He's still, honestly, if not the greatest show in NBA basketball, one of the greatest shows still on till this day. I mean, he's still the type of player that when I was watching the film of him, it made me want to go hoop. I'm probably going to go hoop after this video because Kyrie Irving is so fun to watch still. He's still getting to his spots. I mean, in terms of three-point shot making, it's second lowest in his career, but in the mid-range, he's having success there. In finishing, he's having success. So I still think he can get better this year. I mean, the three-point shot making is going to get better. The percentage will get better, but still fun to watch him. I mean, and also one of the biggest difference with Kyrie this year is that he's playing defense. Like I said, he's leading all point guards in blocks, and he had a game this year against the Mavs where he had 3 steals and 4 blocks. Obviously, steals are not end all be all of you being a good defender, but he's being active there. And with blocks, I mean, especially for a point guard, you got to be in position, you got to stay in front. He's doing well. He's a great point of attack defender for this team. Playing solid, you see that he's really making an effort on this side. The only thing that's wrong with his defense is that he's been doing good on the ball, but off the ball, he has a tendency of overhelping, which leads to open threes, or he gambles too much. But Kyrie Irving, playing really solid. I expect him to get better. And then with Ben Simmons, he started out very, very slow. There's no doubt about it, but he's been picking it up. He got injured, so he's kind of getting back. He played 2 games since that calf injury, but in the games leading up to the injury, he was playing really good basketball. During that 8-game stretch before the injury, he was averaging 11.9 points, 7 rebounds, and 5.8 assists while having a 74.3 true shooting percentage. Ben Simmons is coming into form. Nick Claxton took a leap this year. He's averaging 11.7 points, 8.7 rebounds, and he's 3rd in blocks per game at 2.2. And he's 2nd in true shooting percentage at 69.2%. When we look at Nick Claxton, he's one of the best rim protectors in the game. You could argue top 10 right now. And honestly, what's been kind of going under the radar with him is that he's showing some confidence with the ball in his hands. I was watching when they're playing the Wizards. He had the ball maybe like 30 feet away from the basket, and Kyrie went to go set like a little ghost screen for him, or maybe it was just a lazy screen, but we'll say it's a ghost screen. And Nick Claxton just kind of went to the rack, dribbled all the way to the rack. I mean, he's been showing some confidence down there. He showed some type of face-up game, some type of aggressiveness to try to get a bucket. But yeah, he's taking a big jump for this team. I mean, he's a solid roller, solid lobster as always. And also a guy that just came back, TJ Warren. He's played, I think, 5 games already, and he's been showing that he's been looking pretty good, honestly. I mean, he's getting to that mid-range. He's slowly integrating himself into the offense. I mean, he's not forcing anything, and that's expected. I mean, TJ Warren has not played NBA basketball in a competitive game for 2 years. You got to be patient with him, and honestly, he's been playing pretty solid. He's been having some solid efficiency when he's playing and shooting shots. Defensively, that's kind of been a surprise for him too. He's been playing really solid defense, showing some willingness and just energy on that end. When they're playing Atlanta, he got a stop on Trae Young. He was sticking in front of him for like 5-7 seconds. Got a pick on him. TJ Warren's been solid. I don't know what his ceiling will be for this team, but I expect him to be better as he gets more comfortable, as he gets more acclimated to the rhythm of the game, the flow of how the Nets play, and his confidence is going to get higher. TJ Warren can be a really good secondary scorer for this team. Royce O'Neal has been very solid for this team. I mean, solid 3-and-D player. We know Royce O'Neal for that. He's playing that 4 position. Might be undersized a little bit, but he's battling down there. He's been really good for this team. He's averaging like 9 points and 40% from 3 on pretty solid volume, averaging like 5 3-pointers per game. So Royce O'Neal has been solid for this team. Besides that, we also just talk about their bench. They have some really solid pieces on their bench. I didn't even talk about Seth Curry and Joe Harris. Also other solid players too as well. When we talk about the bench, they had a good win against a solid Pacers team where they didn't have KD, Kyrie, Royce O'Neal, Ben Simmons, Joe Harris, Seth Curry, or Nick Claxton. They had big games from Cam Thomas, #FreeCam. Is that what he put in his bio? I don't know. Hashtag free Cam, I guess. But yeah, big games from him, Patty Mills. Yuta Watanabe's been looking good for this team. Shout out to Yuta Watanabe. I've been liking how he's playing this year. I mean, he's been shooting 52% from three, which is very solid. He's looking more comfortable as an NBA player because honestly, when we talk about Yuta, all we can really refer to was when he got dunked on by Anthony Edwards, right? Edmund Sumner has been good for this team. But yeah, I mean, in terms of just what they should do, I believe they need to get a big man or someone that will battle in the trenches with them, that will get boards, because they're 24th and second chance points allowed. They need to get those boards. And I really do not know who's going to be available, because I saw like John Collins that they're interested in that, but do they have a package that they can send to them? Because Joe Harris is really their only trade chip. He's making like 18 million. They don't really have picks. I mean, this is just on top of my head when we talk about like options for them. I mean, you have Dwight Howard, but what is he really doing? I mean, he's older now. He looks like he's having a good time in Taiwan if he's still there, but they need a body down there. They gotta look somewhere just to get a piece down there that will help them on the boards, because honestly, this is a solid team. If we talk about contention, I do not know really, because it's kind of solidified at the top with the Celtics, Milwaukee, and then at third you have the Cavs. Maybe the Nets can slide into that third spot, but honestly, for the most part, it's been a kind of surprise for this Brooklyn Nets team, especially with how they started with Steve Nash. They've been on a roll. I mean, they're still kind of missing that marquee win that we've been waiting for, but you know, it will come. I mean, they're rolling. KD's playing at an MVP level. Kyrie is getting into form. He's going to shoot more efficiently. Ben Simmons coming off the injury. He's going to look better too as well. Nick Claxton, big leap in his game. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully they make a move, because, you know, KD and Kyrie, they're hoopers. Let the hoopers hoop. That's what I always say. Let the hoopers hoop. And they're hooping right now. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys in this video. If you guys enjoyed, please hit that like, subscribe, comment what you guys think about the Brooklyn Nets. Should we believe in them? Do you guys think they could possibly contend this year? What move do you guys see them making before the trade deadline, or maybe in the buyout market? What do you guys think about the Brooklyn Nets? But like I always say in my videos, my first name is Emilio, but my middle name is Lawrence, and I like hoops. If you like hoops too, subscribe to it too. Until next time, peace.